This isn't over. It's just starting. The new moon has passed, but the eclipse is still working. From September 24th to the 30th, things get real. It moves fast. It hits hard and it leaves no room to ignore. This week won't be calm. Plans may suddenly change. People may surprise you. Truth may come out when you least expect it, but none of it is random. Every moment is a message. Most people won't notice. They'll call it stress, bad luck, or just another week. But you know better. That's why you're here. To see it, to prepare, to act before it's too late. The eclipse didn't just pass. It left a mark. And now this week, that mark becomes a choice. Either you change or life changes you. So before we go into this, like this video, type 777 in the comments and subscribe to this channel. From September 24th to 30th, the eclipse still works. This week is not normal. It pushes change. It forces movement. An eclipse is like a spotlight. It shows what was hidden. It shows what you didn't want to face. The meaning is simple. What is weak will break. What is strong will rise. You can't avoid it. You can only choose how you respond. That's why emotions feel heavy. That's why people act different. That's why plans flip without warning. From September 24th to 30th, the message is clear. You either take control, or control is taken from you. September 24th opens the week with tension. Not the kind you can easily brush aside, but the kind that makes you pause. You may notice old emotions bubbling up or conversations taking a sharp turn. Think of it like carrying a heavy box you've been avoiding to open and suddenly the lid cracks. It all spills out. On this day, the eclipse energy points directly at the parts of life that feel unstable. It could be in relationships where someone's true feelings slip through, or in personal goals where you realize what you've ignored can no longer wait. But this isn't here to hurt you. The 24th is about awareness. Like holding up a mirror, it shows you where you've been settling for less than you deserve. Ask yourself, what have you been tolerating that drains you? Where do you keep saying it's fine when deep down it isn't? The power of this day is in honesty. It asks you to stop hiding from the truth and see it clearly, even if it feels uncomfortable. September 25th shifts the tone after the exposure of the 24th. This day brings decisions. It can feel like standing at a crossroads where you must choose between comfort and growth. Imagine holding two doors in front of you. One is familiar but heavy with old patterns. The other feels uncertain but lighter, freer. This is the energy of the 25th. It pushes you to pick, not stall. You might notice opportunities appearing suddenly, or someone offering advice that sparks clarity. Even small choices, a conversation, a message you send, a decision you make about work or health carry weight today. Pay attention. The question isn't just what will happen to me, but what am I choosing to step into on this day? Hesitation feels heavier than action. Movement, even small, has power. September 26th deepens the energy even more. The spotlight shifts from decisions to emotions. This is the kind of day where conversations feel deeper than usual, where silence says more than words, where you sense the weight of what people truly mean. For some, this shows up in relationships. Truths come out or emotions finally spill over. For others, it's internal, realizing that the way you've been treating yourself no longer works. Think of it like cleaning a room you've ignored for months. At first, it feels messy, uncomfortable, even overwhelming. But as you keep going, space clears. Light comes in. The 26th works the same way. It stirs emotions so you can release what's been piling up inside. This is not weakness, it's strength. It's the body and spirit saying, it's time to make room for more. The 26th also reminds you that emotions are teachers. Instead of running from them, ask, what is this feeling trying to show me? If you feel anger, maybe it's pointing to a boundary you need to set. If you feel sadness, maybe it's highlighting what no longer fits in your life. Every emotion today is a guide. The question is, will you listen? 27th September begins like a chapter where nothing can stay hidden. It's not about sudden shocks. It's about clarity arriving in ways you can't avoid. On this day, you may find yourself standing face to face with truths that have been hovering at the edges for some time. It might be a conversation you've delayed, a choice you've postponed, or a personal habit you've been excusing. The energy pushes you to acknowledge what you already know but haven't acted on. Imagine carrying a heavy bag for too long. At first you get used to it, but eventually your arms give out. The 27th works the same way. It says, stop carrying what doesn't serve you. Lay it down and free your hands for something new. What makes this day especially powerful is how it exposes patterns. Maybe you've been circling the same issue in relationships, finances, or personal goals. The 27th acts like a spotlight, showing you the loop and asking, is this really where you want to stay? This is not punishment. It's a chance to break free. Think of it as the universe handing you the remote and saying you can change the channel whenever you choose. This awareness is guidance in itself. When you see the repetition clearly, you also see your way out. The 27th also carries a quiet invitation to choose honesty, not the kind of honesty that cuts, but the kind that heals. When you speak openly, even if your voice shakes, you give permission for others to do the same. This could mean admitting where you've been unhappy, asking for help instead of pretending to manage it all, or simply saying no to something that drains you. Each honest word clears space for healthier connections and decisions. It may not be easy, but it is worth it. By the end of this day, the message becomes clear. Courage is not loud, it's consistent truth. And so the guidance of the 27th is to stop waiting for the right moment. The right moment is here. Progress doesn't arrive with fanfare. It begins with a decision made in private, often in silence. If you've been waiting for a sign to act, this day delivers it. Your challenge is to follow through. 28th September opens a different kind of chapter. If the previous day demanded honesty, this one demands balance. The energy pulls your attention to where you've been overextending yourself. Perhaps you've been pouring energy into others without leaving enough for yourself. Or maybe you've been chasing a goal so intensely that you've neglected rest, joy, or connection. On the 28th, the imbalance is clear and the lesson is simple. You cannot thrive when one part of your life consumes all the others. Think of it like tuning a guitar. If one string is too tight, the whole sound is off. On this day, the universe hands you the chance to retune. That might mean setting boundaries with people who constantly take, or finally dedicating time to the hobbies, health, or passions you've sidelined. It doesn't require a grand gesture. Small steps carry enormous power. Even saying, "I'll take 30 minutes for myself," can shift the energy of the entire week. Another gift of the 28th lies in partnerships. This can mean romantic partners, friendships, family, or even colleagues. The day may highlight where teamwork is missing or where communication has grown one-sided. But it also offers solutions. When conversations happen with openness, they can mend what was slipping apart. This is not about forcing anyone to change. It's about deciding what balance looks like for you and holding to it. If others rise to meet that standard, harmony grows. If not, you learn who truly belongs in your next chapter. The 28th is also about inner alignment. It whispers that external chaos often mirrors internal imbalance. If you find the day pulling you into arguments, delays, or conflicts, step back and ask, what is this showing me about myself? Often the outer struggle is only a reflection of where you've given too much or not spoken up soon enough. This realization transforms the day from frustration into empowerment, because once you see the root, you know where to act. And finally, the wisdom of the 28th reminds you that balance is never a one-time act. It's an ongoing practice. Each choice, what you say yes to, what you turn away from, what you protect for yourself, creates the rhythm of your life. The 28th nudges you to listen to that rhythm and to adjust before things grow out of tune. It is not about perfection. It is about direction. The moment you choose balance, even imperfectly, you step back into alignment with growth. 29th September opens with momentum. Where the earlier days pulled you to face truths and seek balance, this day drives you into action. It's the moment where decisions no longer sit on the shelf. They demand to be lived out. Think of it like a project that's been sitting unfinished. The 29th brings the tools right in front of you and asks, are you going to build or keep staring at the pieces? This is a day for movement, not for endless thinking. The guidance here is simple. Do what you've been postponing. That message, that step, that commitment you've been circling around, it's time to make it real. And the beauty of this day is that once you take the first step, momentum takes over. Small actions have outsized effects. A single yes or no can change the entire flow of weeks to come. This is the kind of energy where doors respond quickly once you knock. But the 29th isn't just about productivity. It's also about confidence. Life may test whether you truly believe in what you're pursuing. Doubt might surface disguised as second-guessing or external criticism. The key here is to remember that no one else can walk your path. Others can advise, warn, or even discourage, but the choices are yours to live with. On this day, protect your focus like a treasure. You don't need approval, you need commitment. The strength of the 29th lies in its forward motion. It's the kind of day where courage multiplies, where risks feel less heavy, and where action brings clarity. Even if you don't see the full picture yet, you'll see enough to move. And that is enough because progress builds step by step, not in leaps. The 29th teaches action today prevents regret tomorrow. 30th September arrives like the closing scene of a powerful story. But instead of endings, it speaks of integration, all the lessons of the days before. Truth, balance, choice, action come together here. This is not about starting something new. It's about grounding what has already shifted so it lasts. Imagine planting a tree. The seed has sprouted, the stem has grown, but the roots now need to take hold. The 30th is root work. On this day, reflection becomes as important as action. You may look back at the past weeks and realize how much has shifted, even if it wasn't always comfortable. The guidance here is to honor progress. Too often we only look at what's missing. The 30th says, stop. Acknowledge what you've done and give yourself credit. That recognition strengthens your foundation. Gratitude isn't a buzzword. It's the anchor that holds you steady when life pulls in many directions. The 30th also emphasizes connection. It invites you to strengthen bonds with the people who matter and release ties that weigh you down. Think of it as sorting your contacts list, not just on your phone but in your heart. Who adds value? Who drains it? Who grows with you? And who holds you back? This is the day to quietly answer those questions and make adjustments. No drama is required. Decisions can be gentle but firm. Finally, the 30th whispers about preparation. A new cycle always waits beyond the horizon. By closing this chapter with clarity, balance, and grounded choices, you open the next one from a place of strength. The advice here is timeless. Don't rush into the future without securing the lessons of the present. Integration is power, and when you carry forward not just the events but the wisdom, you become unshakable. The weight of the past weeks has not been random. Each choice, each interruption, each truth uncovered was part of a larger arc building to now. What seemed like scattered moments were in fact threads being woven together, and when those threads meet, a story takes shape that cannot be ignored. You have reached that place. Not the end, but the point where the path either breaks open or remains locked. Think about how storms clear the air. At first, they rage, tearing down branches, unsettling the ground, making it impossible to move comfortably. But once the storm passes, the air holds a freshness that wasn't there before. The noise fades, and what remains is sharper vision, cleaner ground, and the undeniable proof that the storm was necessary. That's the space you are standing in now. For many, this moment may look like discomfort. Routines have been interrupted. People have revealed sides of themselves you weren't expecting. Plans that once looked solid now appear shaky. But none of that has been random or cruel. It has been a push away from autopilot, a push away from the life that is smaller than what you are capable of. And while it may not always have felt fair, it has been exact. Every disruption carried meaning. Every silence spoke louder than words. This is why hesitation no longer serves you. Waiting for the right signal, waiting for the right approval, waiting for the right mood, it only keeps you circling in place. The momentum is already here. What has shifted cannot be shifted back. And if you cling to what was, you will find yourself drained by something that no longer exists. But if you move forward, if you accept that life has already given you the signs you were asking for, then this week becomes the gateway. It was meant to be. Courage is not about being unafraid. Courage is about choosing action while the doubt still lingers at the edge of your mind. Think of the great moments in your past, the ones you still remember clearly. None of them arrived when you felt perfectly ready. They came when you leapt anyway. And once you did, the pieces aligned. That same invitation is alive now, stronger than before. You may have noticed conversations turning sharper, choices pressing harder, time moving quicker. This is not chaos. It is compression. Life condenses lessons so you can no longer overlook them. It asks you to decide because decisions create movement and movement creates freedom. If you resist, the cycle continues. If you engage, the cycle breaks and you rise. The most important truth in this turning point is that no one else can live it for you. Others may cheer, others may criticize, others may doubt. But the responsibility and the reward rests only with you. This is why comparison holds no place here. Looking at someone else's progress or timeline only steals your focus from your own. The only question that matters is this. Will you allow the breakthrough you've been calling for, or will you step back into the shadows of familiarity? Every breakthrough looks different. For one person, it may be walking away from a toxic relationship. For another, it may be committing to a dream that has waited too long. For someone else, it could be rediscovering joy after years of survival mode. The form does not matter. What matters is that the breakthrough is lived, not postponed. Because postponement is the greatest thief of all. What has already happened in recent days has shown you what cannot continue. It has peeled away excuses, leaving the raw truth in front of you. To some, that may feel harsh. To others, it may feel liberating. But either way, it is real. And reality, when embraced, becomes the most powerful ally you will ever have. Denial only delays. Acceptance, even of what is uncomfortable, becomes fuel. Think of it this way. Life is not asking you to have every step figured out. It is only asking you to choose the direction. A small pivot now creates an entirely new horizon later. The smallest act of courage opens a door that was invisible before. The hardest part is not the leap. It is the decision to leap. Once the choice is made, the air shifts and the road unfolds. This is the essence of the turning point, a collision between what you know must end and what you know must begin. It rarely looks graceful, but it is always potent, and the gift hidden inside it is that you already have what it takes to move through it. You are not being asked to become someone else. You are being asked to strip away what was never truly you. For too long, many have been carrying identities handed down by others, roles, expectations, obligations, all dressed up as responsibility. But here those borrowed masks lose their weight. They crack under the demand of truth. The only self that survives is the one that is authentic, and that self is stronger than the image others once painted. You don't need to announce your change to the world. Transformation is not about loud declarations. It is about consistent alignment. It is about living each day closer to the truth you already know inside. And when you do, the results speak louder than any announcement ever could. People will see it even if you say nothing. Because authenticity carries its own kind of gravity. Do not underestimate the power of small decisions in this chapter. It is not always the massive gestures that alter destiny. Sometimes it is the choice to turn down an invitation that drains you. Sometimes it is the choice to show up for yourself in a way you usually avoid. Sometimes it is the choice to finally speak a truth that has lived in silence for years. These small decisions build a wave, and that wave carries you further than you realize. The climax of this story is not about external fireworks. It is about the quiet, unshakable knowing that you are finally aligned, that you no longer chase what doesn't want to be caught, that you no longer shrink to fit where you have outgrown, that you no longer wait for life to hand you permission. You step into it. You live it. And here is the challenge that must be spoken clearly. Do not let this pass you by. Turning points do not come every day. They are rare intersections where all that was and all that will be meet in the present. If you walk past it with your head down, you will miss the opportunity that countless small moments have been preparing you for. But if you lift your head, if you take even one decisive action, you honor the journey that brought you here. So the charge is simple. Stop delaying, stop doubting, stop shrinking, begin, begin. Even if the map is incomplete, begin. Even if the voices around you question, begin, because the road cannot reveal itself until you walk it. Begin. Because the longer you wait, the heavier the weight becomes. Begin because the moment has already chosen you. You only need to choose it back. And when you do, you will look back on this season not as the time life fell apart, but as the time life began to align. You will see that the disruptions were not obstacles, but instructions. You will see that the people who left made space for those who were meant to arrive. You will see that the struggle was shaping you for strength. The climax is not only about hope, it is about proof. Proof that change is real, that transformation is possible, and that no matter how long the journey has taken, the power, the invitation is before you to rise, to claim, to live. The choice is yours, and only yours. When you reach a threshold like this, the temptation is to stall, to tell yourself you'll move when conditions improve, when resources increase, when timing feels safer. But thresholds are not about comfort. They're about courage. Think about the architects of history, the inventors, the leaders, the voices who refused silence. None of them moved because everything was ready. They moved because their inner fire demanded it. And that decision, often made in quiet moments, changed the course of their world. You stand in a similar place not to copy their path, but to answer your own call with the same conviction. This is why the climax isn't about a single achievement. It's about awakening a way of living. A way where excuses are replaced by ownership, where distractions are replaced by direction, where hesitation is replaced by bold attempts, even if imperfect. This is the soil in which resilience grows. It's where creativity flourishes. It's where true connection is built. Because when you stand in truth, everything you touch carries that authenticity with it. Imagine looking back 1 year from now. You see two versions of yourself. The one who chose action in this moment and the one who avoided it. One is standing taller, surrounded by growth, walking in alignment. The other is still circling, still waiting, still asking for signs when the signs were already given. Which version do you want to meet? That answer is decided not by chance, but by the step you take now. And here lies the beauty of this turning point. It doesn't demand perfection. It doesn't demand you to conquer every mountain in a single day. It only asks you to begin the climb. One honest step, one brave choice, one moment where you refuse to shrink back. From there, momentum carries you. From there, the universe aligns doors you didn't know existed. From there, courage multiplies, not because the path is easier, but because you are stronger. Do not underestimate the ripple your choice can create. One act of courage inspires others in ways you may never see. One step into authenticity reminds those around you that they too can live truthfully. Your transformation does not stop with you. It becomes a spark for others. And the more sparks ignite, the brighter the collective light becomes. This is how personal change shapes the world. Not through grand speeches, but through lived example. So the challenge intensifies. Step into the life that has been calling you. Stop handing your future to delay, to doubt, to outside approval. This is not about waiting for a better tomorrow. It is about creating it through the decisions you make today. You have been prepared for this, shaped by every twist, every pause, every lesson along the way. Now the story waits for you to claim the pen and write the next chapter with conviction. And once you do, once you embrace that the turning point is not coming, it is here, you will discover a truth unshakable. The power you were searching for was never outside you. It was always within, waiting for the moment you decided to use it. That moment is now. Every step of this week has carried purpose. Each high and low has been guiding toward clarity, pushing away what no longer belongs and opening space for what is stronger. Transformation isn't an idea anymore. It has already begun moving through your daily life. The energy of the September 24th to 30th window after the new moon solar eclipse has shown how quickly things can shift when the timing is undeniable. What once seemed hidden is now standing in plain sight. What once seemed far away is now calling for attention. The choice is no longer where the change will happen, but how you will move with it. Hope runs through this moment like a current. Even in uncertainty, direction is forming. Even in challenges, growth is unfolding. You have been reminded that strength is not about avoiding difficulty, but about rising with it, letting it shape a stronger, clearer version of yourself. Now is the time to share how this season has touched your journey. Leave a comment below and let the community know what you are stepping into. Subscribe, like, and pass this forward so others can walk into the same clarity. Stay close because what comes next will take this momentum even further.